Hi, everyone. Welcome to this new episode of our Student Spotlight series, where we showcase some of our past students and talk about the work that they've done and their experience in the program. I'm Charlotte, one of the outreach coordinators here at CCIR, and it's our pleasure to have with us today Aiym. Can you just introduce yourself to us? So tell us where you're from, what grade you're in, and kind of what your general interests are.
My name is Aiym Nurtas. I am currently 17 years old and I am from Almaty, Kazakhstan. And I'm currently in grade 11 and I'm finishing it this year.
And then can you tell us the course that you did? So she did one of our Future Scholars Program courses. So can you tell us the title of the course, who the mentor was, and where they were, what university they taught at, and then a little bit kind of about what the topic of the course was about.
I have participated in the course Constitutional Theory, Power, Politics, and Law. And my mentor was Dr. Leah Trueblood, and I think she is a professor at Oxford. And I do think that we have learned a lot about different cases all around the world, like in different locations. So it wasn't really specified on one location, which was really, really interesting because it helped me see more of the world and find out what's going on in different constitutions and maybe different kind of law. So it just helped me broaden my knowledge about the world.
And what initially interested you in taking this course? Have you had any experience with it before, or was it just kind of an outside of school interest for you?
Well, I didn't really have any interest in like taking this as like well, I didn't really know about this program before, but once I found out about this and knew that law was one of the subjects that I could do, I immediately tried to apply, and I did apply, and it was one of the really great decisions that I have made because I do want to connect my future profession with law. And it was really interesting for me to get into different knowledge, the different stuff that I never knew before. So I just think it's a really great experience for me that I have experienced.
Nice. And then to talk a little bit about your research project. So can you tell us what your research project was about and kind of what the research process looked like for you?
The title of my research project is Canada's Climate Change Problem and Where the Actions of the Government Against It Successful. So in my research paper, I tried to kind of tie the problem of climate change together with the government and laws and like the Constitution of Canada. Because, well, my course was about it, and I was actually really interested in how the Constitution itself was incorporated into those kind of really global problems and how Canada, such like a big country, the second largest country in the world, participates in this fight against climate change that affects us all.
And in doing the research project, had you had any experience before with research? Was it kind of what was the process like for you from initially coming up with the idea to having your mentor help you kind of narrow it down and make sure that it was a feasible topic? Can you walk us through kind of what that experience was like for you?
Yeah, sure. So first, I actually had a different topic in mind. I had a topic of domestic abuse in Kazakhstan, and I would like to try like to compare it to another country's constitution and how they deal with it. But then I just realized that my topic, or my original topic, was a little bit too broad. So I just decided to kind of change it entirely, and I made it like my last second decision, and I'm glad that I did because it helped me also find out more about the climate change, which is also really interesting as well. And my mentor, my TA, Mr. Nishant, he helped a lot with choosing my topic. With like, he helped a lot with his advice, and I just knew that I had like a person who I can advise to, and like maybe like get any possible recommendations for my research project. And it really, really helped in the process itself because it was actually my first time doing research. And I could say that it was really, really nerve-wracking and it was really exciting for me as well. But I do think it was kind of hard. So without any support from my mentor or without the support of the professor, it would be really hard by myself. So I'm really glad that my first experience with the research project was with CCIR.
Nice. Yeah, definitely it is a very big task to take on research, no matter how many times you've done it before. So it is really nice that you have two, especially within the Future Scholars Program, you have two kind of faculty that are able to help you. So both your mentor and your TA. So you get, kind of double the help, double the perspectives, which is really nice. And then to talk about kind of the findings from your specific topic or specific project, is there anything that maybe you weren't expecting to find, or that you that you found that you were expecting to find, or kind of the importance of your findings? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I do think one of the most surprising things that I have uncovered while doing my research is just the fact that Canada, throughout like their fight against climate change, they were quite unsuccessful. So I have expected a much more like successful kind of way of dealing with climate change because Canada is like a really, really big country. It's developed country. It's the country that we know of like as a really great one. And it just kind of helped me to see how a developed country like Canada has also like negative side and some problems that it has. And I do think it's like one of the things that surprised me the most throughout my whole research. But also, um, I have expected them to take a lot more actions towards like the battle against climate change. Although they did, as I have covered it in my paper, I have discussed different conferences they attended. I discussed different plans that they made, different promises that they have told the public or to the other countries as well. And I did expect this kind of at least like their attempt, but it was kind of really disappointing to see such a developed country kind of fail in a way.
Yeah, the climate change topic is a very hard one to look at, I think. Um, so, to talk a little bit about your experience with CCIR as a whole, maybe the first thing that we can mention is because you did one of our Future Scholars Program courses. So, this is our group course for those listening. Can you speak a little bit to kind of what your experience was? So, how many other students you had, kind of what the profile was like, and then what it was like working with and getting to know other students from around the world and all of that.
So, because I was doing a Future Scholars program, I had four other people with me, and all of them were kind of really like new to me because, well, I am from Kazakhstan, and they were from different places like the US or other, like they had a different country of origin. So, of course, it was a really nice time talking to them as well. And it was kind of the first session that I had with this CCIR and the professor. I thought it would be a lot more strict. And I thought that we would need to like take a lot of notes to listen like really, really attentively. But I have found out that the professor was really incredibly kind, and it was like really, really easy to kind of communicate with her and also with my TA. It was also really easy to communicate. And I'm just glad that I had both of them as my mentors.
Nice. And then can you tell us a little bit about your experience? So I know you mentioned that you hadn't really done a research project before, and you hadn't encountered this topic specifically within your high school curriculum. So can you talk a little bit about kind of what it was like doing a program like this, learning about something that you hadn't had kind of standardized access to before as a high school student?
Well, first, I thought it would be really, really hard. And with the materials that we were given, that we don't really have access to in high school, we were given access to many different research papers, which were also incredibly interesting. We were also given access to a lot of different libraries, a lot of books, and actually, Dr. Trueblood has shared her own research paper, which was also really interesting to read. Like, like a person is really experienced in that like area, and you know that you can like trust them, and know that you will gain a lot of knowledge from them. So of course, because English is my third language, it was kind of hard to understand some of the terminology used, or just like some of the vocabulary that was used in the research papers themselves. But I did have quite an experience trying to kind of understand all of them. And I did actually find out a way to read the research papers, which was also really helpful. And I have found out many new things about the Constitution that I never knew before. And all of those kind of opportunities were just like really, really helpful. And it did give me a lot of like experience. And I'm glad that I have experienced this.
Nice. And then again, I know you mentioned this a little bit before, but just to kind of reiterate, so one of the main things that we really focus on with both of our programs is the emphasis on like the aspect of mentorship rather than kind of the traditional teaching method where our mentors are really there to guide students to help them develop their own path and pursue their own interests rather than just kind of transferring information onto the students. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience with your mentor and with your TA and how, as you kind of moved through the first half of the course, it got more involved into your research, how they helped kind of guide you and develop your both your skills and your kind of path as a researcher?
So with my professor, we have discussed mostly the material of the sessions. So they have sent us a list of different research papers that we had to read, different maybe articles as well. So we have to read them before the session, and then we'll discuss it during the session itself. And I just found the discussion part really, really interesting because I got to hear other students' opinions as well as mine was heard as well. And the professor was like really, really kind as to like she listened a lot, and she has really, really this like interest in what each person has to say. And Mr. Nishant, my TA, was really, really kind as well. He has helped me with my research a lot because I have communicated with him through email. And I was constantly asking whether this was okay, whether it's like good enough, and whether my drafts are also all right. And I think it did really help me kind of know the structure of a research paper now. And now I have learned a lot more than I've known.
Speak a bit to kind of the outcomes of the course. So, do you think this course or doing this experience has given you any insights into your future at all? Do you think it's informed or like shaped how you think about your path moving forward?
So I think going through this course really shaped my, it helped me kind of verify for myself and know that I do really want to involve law in my future profession because reading different like cases that happened all around the world. For example, we talked about the Begum case, I think, or Begum, and it was really interesting for me to read. And I have found out that I do have a passion, and I have confirmed to myself that I do have a passion for learning about law, about different constitutions all around the world, different types of orders that they may have. And it just really kind of shaped my future for me. And now I know what to expect, and I know what to uh, think about when I'm thinking about my profession.
And do you think that doing this program and writing this research and kind of getting this experience under your belt, do you think that it's better prepared you for this path of going into law, maybe as an undergraduate degree? Do you think that it's helped and you feel like you might be more prepared for uni?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because at the start of the course, we were told that this kind of material that we have received is an I think first year undergraduate course of law in a way, and it really helped me delve into that kind of university atmosphere. And now I know much more. And the kind of the process itself of writing the research paper was also really new to me, and it was just like really interesting to see how I have like uh made it into something that like turned out so well for like on the first try. And I don't know, since I've also like included not only like climate change and all of this, but also the more of, like constitutional side. It's been really interesting to, incorporating two different worlds into one.
And then my last question for you, what would you say to someone who, maybe another high school student who asked you the value of doing a project or a program like this, and kind of what advice would you give them?
So I would love to give advice on procrastination because I do also suffer from it. I think everyone has a problem with procrastination and like putting things at a later date. So this kind of project helps you to develop self-discipline. And it also helps to keep you on your toes and kind of be able to write something that you're so curious on and ambitious about. So, and also I would like to give advice in believing in yourself because at first I thought that, oh, I'm not gonna like be really successful in my project. I thought that my project wasn't good enough, but eventually I have written like 2,800 words about a topic that I was really passionate about, and I have finally believed in myself. So the CCIR, this whole experience helped me gain a much more like helped me gain confidence in myself and my abilities. Now that I know that I can do it, I can write a research paper. I may even find new experiences, which I was really nervous about as well, since you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. So just like really helps to find new experiences as well. I have mentioned it before previously like, many times, but it definitely is something that was so new to me and it was really exciting as well. And it's just like it helps you to not only improve your writing skills or reading skills, but also helps you yourself improve in a way.
I think that's really nice advice. So thank you so much for chatting with me today. And again, congratulations on your nomination to our Spotlight series.
Thank you a lot.